Get your broke ass audio on. Let's go. Oh my God, he even got the
Yeah.
hat. I got the jersey. He's got the hat. This is the.
Whoa. I was wondering if you're gonna rep that today, man.
Yeah, thank you for the 1 year Christmas gift anniversary. Okay, you're not 12 anymore, bro. What are you doing? What?
Bro, I don't know if I cursed Kobe, bro, because after I got you that,
Oh yeah, you kind of did, man. So I'm gonna,
God forbid.
I'm returning this jersey right back to you. Yo,
Trust me, bro, if there was any way to bring him back, we would burn the whole fucking forest down, bro.
oh God, oh man, yo, George, we finally, bro. I'm pissed, bro. I have to say it with my chest. You are the worst. You're the most leb guy I've ever met. You're not even leb. You're actually Canadian leb. You're not even a full leb, but your time management skills, better to win, better. Yeah, exactly.
Two kids, bro. Two kids. It's not feasible.
Two kids.
It's not feasible to be on time every time.
2 kids. Bro, you couldn't even be on time when you had no kids.
Always there when you come.
You are yo. By the way, this podcast is already being recorded, so be careful what you say so you don't get incriminated. We finally have George and George, and together we are 2Gs in a pod with Mr. Steroids.
Hey, bro, the gun show in the house.
Yeah, nah, we don't have no guns, but I could. Oh, I don't have the sound effects.
No guns allowed.
Nah, no guns allowed. Forget the sound effects. We don't need any of that. Keep it straight, raw gutter. It's been ages. I know we're supposed to catch up. I guess this will be our catching up. You know what I'm saying? Look at George already going back to work. Well, tell me first of all, before anything, forget all the podcast stuff. How is George Zahalan, according to your voicemail, how is George Zahalan?
Zahza's good, bro. His brain is finally adjusted to not getting any sleep.
That what's going on?
Those of you who don't know, we just had our second child. Thank the good Lord.
Congrats.
Jaden Nadim George Zahalan. That's the full name. Jaden Nadim George Zahalan, bro. We had to throw the Nadim in there.
Oh wow! Big ups to Laurier Optical.
Lori.
That's a really intense name, man. Good looking out. That's a lot of interesting names.
Because for our first son, we put my brother and my father's name in it.
Right.
So now it was time to return the favor, and give some of the Ibrahim some shine.
Because God bless the boy, but him and his big bro already got the Ibrahim genes popping up. I feel like Jaden. I feel like not Jaden. Sorry, I feel like Jeremiah. After seeing that last video of him finally talking and saying NBA player names, he looks like you, but he sounds like his mommy. I find he sounds just like his mom. When he says that, I feel like it's Ibrahim incorporated right there. So I feel like those Ibrahim genes are kicking in for real.
It's the opposite. The kid, like he is pure Ibrahim in terms of like a behavioral and physical. The only thing that he has from me is the stubbornness.
That's it. What about his time management skills? Is he on time too, or is he jaw ruling it? What is he doing?
Yeah, he's terrible, bro. Like me, every morning it's a mission to get him to daycare. We're supposed to be there by 8 o'clock, bro. Wallah, we don't show up till 9:30 sometimes, man.
Wait, what? 9:30?
9:30. He takes his time eating. He doesn't want to move. If you try to take his food away, he goes like this.
Man, that face has been his thing since day one. I swear he's been making that face ever since I met him. He's always been making that face. And then if it's not that, it's super happy. There's no in between with that boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's still like that.
Yeah, man. Bless up to him. Big 2 years old, man. Time is flying. 2.5. 2.5.
2.5, bro. 2.5. Yep.
Yeah. So
2 and a hizzle, bro.
2 and a hizzle. And how does he feel about being a big bro right now? Does he have any emotions? Does he have any opinions on that? Like, how is he treating this brotherhood?
He's very happy, man. He's very happy. He is he's very nice with him, shockingly.
Why wouldn't he be? I mean, that's his bro.
No, but still, man, there was I would assume that there was gonna be some competition. Basically, man,
That's coming from you, by the way.
basically he I think the guy was expecting more, to be honest, but he came home and he saw, like a baby there who was just like on his back like this, just like
Lame.
blank face. He goes, "What's going on here?" He was trying to talk to him and says, "Come play, Jaden, play." And I'm like, "No, baby. There's about 6 to 8 months of your brother being like static, and then his personality will start coming out." So
I love how you say static, like as if your boy knows that, and he probably knows how to spell it too. I guarantee you, he could spell better than his uncles. Oh man! By the
I'll
way,
tell you something. After this, I gotta send you a video. Tonight, I taped him. It's a 20-minute clip where he finished a puzzle like this big on his own, a dinosaur puzzle.
you got 20 minutes on a video?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Damn, bro, that's a lot, man. I don't know if my
Because you gotta
Apple.
capture these moments, bro. Come on.
I know, but I don't know if an Apple product like that could contains so much greatness and that much
Android all day,
time.
brother.
Nah,
Android all day.
man, not even. I want to get into that. It's crazy because I do have a mixture of Apple and Android product users in my life, like friends and family.
I'm cleaning up.
Pro Android are like extremely like radical right Android users, right? And they hate Apple. And then the Apple people feel the same way about you. Like for me, I am all blue, that's the only time when I'll say blue lives matter, because it's those blue bubbles that pop up on the screen. Because outside of those blue lives, I don't give a shit about the other blue, bro.
Yeah, man, I was gonna say this is a good way to get our podcast in a shitload of trouble, bro, for sure.
So George is for like the listeners, the viewers who are watching, listening, they know, well, at least I want to let them know you are big on the Instagram life, yet somehow you're super anti IG live. Can you fucking explain that to me? How come your own brother-in-law can come on with me, but you can't?
So, I'm not
anti. Lie. Go.
I'm not anti IG live. I find that it's a silly platform. It's only good if there is a reason for people to turn in and to jump in. To tune in and jump in. So if it's just George S and Paul I, two like maniac ass trolls just talking shit while Paul is doing his protein shake and all this, she's fucking doing his stuff. There's no need for that. But anyways, George, get to the reason that we're here, bro. Season 2 of 2Gs in a Pod. Come on, bro. Talk about it. Let's go. Big ups. Let's go.
Is that what we're on? Season 2? I could have swore it's our 3rd season if we're really being honest with you. If we keep it 2.
Season 3, whatever you want, bro.
Because season 1 started in 2018, and then last year was season 2, and now we're already on season 3, except somehow it's our 2nd episode in 6 months, which is really sad.
It's okay. Honestly, don't worry. I promise, man. It's going to be changed up. And this season, we're doing something a little bit different. We're not just going to sit and talk shit like we always do. We're actually going to have some very interesting guests, like addiction counselors, lawyers, collectors, athletes. There's going to be really interesting people that we're going to be bringing.
What about former convicts? Can we talk to convicts? Maybe Akon or something? I don't know. Listen, we don't actually have to know them, but it's always nice to hear from the perspective of someone who kind of went through some stuff. Don't you think? It's nice to hear, like, at least the ones who decided to get their life back together after the fact.
That is actually a good point that you bring up, because there is a podcast that I just started to actually listen to. I'm actually on my phone now to try to get you the name. It's one guy who's an ex-Crip and one guy who's an ex-Blood. And no, it's a great podcast. Just talk, and I'm going to get that for you, bro. Just give me a second.
Well, I mean, I'm best of both worlds, which is why I'm rocking purple, right? Because you mix the Crip, you mix the Bloods, and you get what? You get the Lakers. So, yeah, there's just so many different people in the world with different backgrounds that I'm a very curious guy, right? Like, that's why my name is George, because I'm curious George. I like to know what's going on with people's lives, especially those with interesting backgrounds. Even this maniac right here next to me on the other side of the screen, He's got that neuroscience life going on. He even has people on his team that we might potentially reach out to talk about mental health. We've already covered mental health, but mental health is never going to be played out. Mental health is not even played out. Mental health is something
It's
that
everyday struggle, bro.
it's an everyday struggle. It's something that we take for granted, sadly. And especially in the corporate world, when I see management and how pressing and how demanding they can be on their own employees, and then when you hear about those employees, how they get burnt out, they start taking a toll on their health. So it makes you wonder, like, is it worth going this hard in the paint in the corporate world? Like, why is life got to be like that? Why can't people just take it easy and take their time, like George takes his sweet ass time to come on here and just be easy, be slow? That's the only time where I'll accept, take it easy and take your
So
time.
because it's a real talk podcast, George, George, get it off your chest, bro. Tell us what you really want to say. Because it sounds like, bro, you got some beef with work or you got something going on, bro. Tell us.
No, there's no
Get
beef.
it off your chest, man.
There's no beef. I'm just really looking forward to 2021. I feel like it's nothing but great things to come for me at least, and for, not just for me, but I feel like if people could just be a little bit more positive and be more ambitious and optimistic, like great things will come to you. Like don't let COVID really get to you. Yes, it may have hit us really hard at first, but I feel like I overcame it, and I'm just moving on from the show, and the show must go on, and I'm out here trying to prosper, bro.
I think it definitely hit some people very hard. Particularly, it brought to light some of the mental health obstacles that we deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Which is why we're going to be having, a person on the podcast who is an addictions counselor. And an addictions counselor is somebody that helps to basically try to talk to people on like their level, right? Because in recovery from drugs or gambling, whatever addiction or infliction you have, you always need to meet them at their level. So
Yeah.
it's good that you definitely like brought that up, because as some people might or might not know, addiction is a mental health illness, and COVID has affected the addictions population, I think, the most out of anyone. And it will give us some insight into how fragile the mind can be, how dangerous it is when you don't take care of your own mental health, and how it's easy to lose yourself. So that's what we don't want to ever have happen. So.
Is this counselor from the Canadian Center of Substance and Abuse by any chance?
She's not. She works for me actually at my pharmacy, at Centertown Pharmacy.
Oh, you're talking about this person. Got you.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Which is an addictions pharmacy. And basically, we have her on board so that people can talk to her, right? Because at the end of the day, bro, the problem is that, yes, you could put like drugs in a person's life or give them other prescriptions, try to actually help them out in some way, shape, or form. But at the end of the day, trying to give a prescription for something to help a drug problem is not enough. You need to actually talk to somebody. So that's why our pharmacy was the first one and the only one to actually have an on-site addictions counselor. And I want to bring her on because she has great insight as to the mental health illnesses that inflict all of us, how to deal with stress. And she also wrote an article that was published in a local Ottawa newspaper about how CERB has been deadly and fatal to the addictions community, because you're putting a lot of money in the hands of people that don't know how to deal with a lot of money. So that's all I'll say for that, because I want to leave the rest
Yeah. Let her sell herself. Let her speak up and let her,
Definitely.
give us a lot of insight on her end, because I'm very curious and I'm very interested in this topic. Why? Because it's a huge epidemic, I find. And you know what's really weird is that when I think of Ottawa, I don't think of Ottawa as a city that suffers from this. I don't know why, but I guess maybe I'm not as open-minded with how big our city really is. Like, it's a freaking capital of the country, and it's a really big tourist attraction city. But in terms of people who live here and people who try to raise families and stuff like that, yo, it's a really big population out here. Like, what's our population, bro? Do you have any idea?
Of what? Of Ontario, of
just
Ottawa, or what?
just Ottawa, period, like the whole
Uh,
Ottawa
so
region.
currently, I just checked it up. As of like this year, actually, sorry, as of 2017, which is really outdated. Sorry. So 2020, we're up to 1.4 million people.
So we gotta add 1.4.0001 because Jaden's here. So we gotta, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that report came out
Oh man,
before.
our false. Well,
Yeah. So that's good. I'm looking forward to that. So line that up for us, please, if you may. And
definitely, yeah.
please don't wait till the month of May. I want this like ASAP. I mean, it doesn't have to be ASAP, but like sooner the better, because we had already joined forces, and you brought this idea to me way back in the summertime of having special guests, to that have interesting backgrounds. And I did bring that up also on IG Live to try to hype up the crowd, whoever is tuning in, whoever. But I don't know, man. Are these listeners? You think they ready for this stuff, bro? Because I feel like our demo audience, our demographic consists of people who are only there to scroll their thumbs and not actually engage in something like this, because it's so important for people to know what's really going on in our country or even in our city. Um, that it's like, damn, bro, I feel like there's just more consumed by celebrityism, if that makes any sense.
I mean, people will be really excited to have all these guests on. I am particularly excited for sure at the prospect of having this awesome addictions counselor on. I'm also excited because two other confirmed guests are a friend of mine who is a defense lawyer who was a refugee that fled from Serbia. She has a lot of interesting stories. And then the other gentleman is a collector. And he has.
Wait. A bill collector?
No, he's
Psych.
like a collector, i.e., he was a big sports card collector, then Pokemon cards. Now he's into watches, and he comes actually from a long line of family members that are also collectors. And he is extremely eloquent, and he has some awesome stories, and it's definitely exciting to hear this kind of stuff because um, uh, there's been a surge or a rise in the amount of collectors around now, like Pokemon, sports, etc., have all exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's pertinent, and I think it will attract a lot of people, especially people who have interests or who had interest in card games like Magic, Pokemon, sports cards, etc., growing up or even until now. So he's a really interesting dude. So these are just a couple of the ones that we have planned. And I'm sure George over there on his end, he's definitely going to be working to get some of his awesome guests on because he knows a lot of people all over the place.
I do my thing. I mean, I might try to line up Obama or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I would love to have Obama on, but I mean, I might have to go through a few people for that. So George, I want to talk more about the cards, but I want to save that for your boy, for your special guest, the bill
yes,
collector,
sir.
sorry, the card collector,
Yes, sir.
the special item collector. Um, I want to shift over towards the entertainment side of things real quick because COVID obviously put a halt to a lot of production. And I know you were at some point during one of our previous episodes, we talked about like upcoming releases for like Marvel shit, right? The Marvel movies and all that. What's the latest on that? You are our inside reporter on this shit. Tell me what's going on with that.
So basically, bro, the movies that were going to be coming out, and I mean, it goes for all big like blockbuster movies. I love going to the movies. Like George knows, that's one of my favorite things to do. So it's been definitely hard. I have about 80 free movies on my scene card that God knows what's going to happen, because if all of the damn theaters close, I'm not going to be able to watch any of them. But anyways, so either they've all been bumped to next year, or they're going to be released on different platforms like Crave, HBO Max, Disney Plus, etc. So I don't know. Honestly, this year was not supposed to be that good of a movie year. Next year is huge. We got like a bunch of good, solid films coming out. King Kong versus Godzilla, Mortal Kombat, like a reboot of that, which has been 10 years in the making. Venom 2, which is my personal favorite. Anyone who's been to the Man Cave knows. /
your Halloween costume every year.
Every single year for the last 5 years. The third installment of Spider-Man. So there's a lot of shit going down next year. So I'm really pumped about that. I don't really care that there was a lot of movies canceled this year or pushed to next year. But I don't know, man. We'll see what goes down. Right. But HBO Max is going to be bumping very soon, because all of the big DC movies, including King Kong versus Godzilla, the aforementioned Mortal Kombat, all of those movies which are owned by Warner Brothers, who, if you don't know, they own DC and they own HBO. They're going to be bringing everything out next year at the same time on HBO Max / Crave in Canada, and in the movie theaters if they're open. So we're going to be able to actually watch these in the comfort of our own home if we're not yet comfortable going to the movies, which I hope we will be. It all depends on the amount of people who take the vaccine and who trust the science and who stop listening to all of these conspiracy theorists out there that are talking out of the left side of their ass.
They're you know what. So I'm so glad you mentioned HBO Max. If you feel, we all know the way you feel about Marvel, DC, all of those superhero stuff, right? Well, that's how I am with HBO series and products that come from.
Really?
I love the shit out of HBO. If there's if there's one network that I truly love and I appreciate and I admire the stuff that they have on there, it's HBO. And I'm so thankful for HBO and all the stuff that they've given us throughout all these years. And I still have plenty ways to go, right? In terms of the shows that they put out. I tried to go back onto Game of Thrones. I went back to watch that like a few weeks ago, and I still haven't even finished season 1. Why? Because I'm still not understanding the hype around the whole fantasy, dragons, and knights.
It's too long, bro. It's too long. Honestly, I tried to watch the very first episode, and I couldn't, man. I could not.
Yeah. So that was my second run, and I was told you just got to keep going. You got to keep going. It gets more intense. I kind of get it more now that I watched it for a second time, but it's still not like my favorite thing to watch. It's not even close to being my favorite thing. So I guess would be our segment where we put each other on what we've been watching lately. Because I mean, we've had a lot of time to do that. And so since I'm on HBO, well, first things first, I got to give a shout out to our boy Fresh Prince, the Fresh Prince reunion show. Did you get it? Did you watch that?
I did not watch it because I no longer subscribe to Crave. We honestly, bro, but I am going to once all of those films come out because I want to watch them. Right. But I stopped because it was simply the channel or the network that we watched the least. And with the coronavirus and people being stupid, going outside all the time and just going completely rampant, these channels or these apps were making so much content, bro. It was hard to keep up, you know.
I agree.
So yeah, I can't say I watch anything HBO. I've always had an appreciation for them. George, if you are a fan of HBO, tell me for the love of God that you watched The Sopranos.
I did, but it's kind of like Game
No,
of
you
Thrones.
didn't. No,
No,
you
no,
didn't, because you
no.
stutter step right there, bro. I
Yeah, I
got
did a
you.
hezzy. I know. I pulled a hezzy on you. No, I only watched the first 2 episodes, and I just didn't go back to it. And by the way, because I'm so good at rating people, I knew you were gonna bring up The Sopranos, because you can't mention HBO without talking about Sopranos or the
I love
infamous
Sopranos.
or the GOAT, The Wire. So The Wire
I
is
haven't seen The Wire. I haven't seen The Wire. Everyone tells me to watch The Wire. I haven't, but I know it's blasphemous, but it's just as blasphemous that you haven't seen The Sopranos, nor have you watched Breaking Bad.
well. Excuse you? What are you talking about, Breaking Bad?
Oh,
Fam?
sorry.
You must got the wrong George in this bitch, man.
I do have the wrong George, actually.
Yeah,
I
you
my
definitely
bad.
do, man. Boy? listen,
Thank God you love Breaking Bad, bro.
listen, Jason Kidd out here blowing me kisses at the free throw line. Yo, listen, Breaking Bad was something that I watched way back, and in fact, 2019, last year, I watched it again. Like, that's how much I was into that show, that I watched it again, and I watched El Camino. Okay, just so that I could put you in your place.
I finally watched El Camino about 4 months ago, and it was
Thank
great.
God.
It was
Yeah,
great.
you felt it good, because
It was good.
I avoided giving you spoilers when the thing came out, and I'm glad you watched it. I felt like it was a good way, like a good closure, I guess if you want to call it that. It was a nice way to close, end of a chapter for that really critically acclaimed show. And so The Wire and Sopranos, right? Those are like the two 1A and 1B of The Wire. Like those The Wire. Those are the 1A and 1B of HBO. So that, I guess you and I were evened out, because you didn't watch one and I didn't watch the other. So I guess this is our point. This is the moment where we should try to get into that. If you find a way, maybe I'll send you one of those legal/illegal streaming sites. If you're able, yeah, I know, my bad, feds, if you're listening.
Well,
However,
because we know they're listening, bro, because they banned us from putting any song of Jay-Z and shit.
Yeah, Hova. By the way, a happy belated birthday to that motherfucker. Friggin' 51-year-old geezer. George, and I finally watched something that you've been dying to put me on, and you know which movie I'm about to say, right?
I don't know, what is it?
Ibn Khalte Vinny, man. My cousin Vinny in this piece.
The best, bro. The best.
But why? Okay, explain to me what made it the best to you. Like, why did you love this movie so much? Because I've watched better. I'm sorry to say this. I watched better. It had a lot of funny ass moments. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, Joe Pesci is one funny ass dude. Especially
Joe Pesci is the man, bro.
With that big ass hairpiece. Because there's no way that's his real hair.
I don't know.
But whatever the case is, I want to know what it is that
this
you
was
were
the
so
one.
obsessed.
But that is one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't tell you why, bro. I don't know why. It just, every scene there's a laugh, and it's hard. Listen. Okay, there's only been 3 movies, George. 3 movies ever where I've laughed at almost every scene. Okay, My Cousin Vinny, Superbad, and The Hangover, the first one.
Yeah.
These movies, bro, when I tell you I laughed the whole way, I laughed the whole way. Just, those are my top. Those are, in fact, in my top 5 all-time favorite movies generally, and obviously my top 3 comedies. Like these.
Wow, that's a that's a really bold statement to make. With all the movies that have ever come out in the entire history of entertainment, like you would actually put those in your 5, bro. You must have not watched that many movies then, I guess, outside of Marvel.
I've seen a ton of comedies, bro, but those are the ones, man. Those.
I think I know why you love this so much, because you and Joe Pesci are the same height.
Who knows, man?
I had to throw in the jab, bro. I missed it. I missed making the jokes, and I love making these jokes. I'm hoping that these jokes still make you feel the same way, where you don't take offense to it, because if you do, then I'm gonna go even harder. I'm sorry. Bro, man, I know, you know, it's all love.
No, it's probably because we both have a, we probably both have like a Napoleon complex, bro, because this guy is dominant in that whole movie, you know. So
Yeah, and in fact, you know what bothered me about the movie? The Karate Kid who started off the movie, I felt like he was gonna play a more pivotal role. The guy completely disappeared once Vinny came in onto the scene.
yes,
Like,
yes.
why did they do that to the Karate Kid, bro?
Because like, bro, the whole case. I don't know if you noticed about the movie, but it's such a good movie because it started off as being all about the murder case. Spoiler alert, but it's
Yeah.
not, right? This actually becomes a secondary thing. The primary thing is this guy's like mission to learn the law, to be a good lawyer, and to outsmart this town of people. So the story evolves. I do agree, bro. Like Danny LaRusso took like a back seat, but it really wasn't his movie. But they should make a second one and have them both come back in some way, shape, or form because it's just a great movie, man.
Yeah, and then just at least give him more of a dialogue or something because I felt like LaRusso was pretty good, starting off, and he had like he had a good presence in there. But then once Joe Pesci came on, and by the way, shout out to his on-screen fiance girlfriend. She was gorgeous in that movie. Whatever her name is, but like I've seen her in a few other movies too. But she
Her
was
name
really.
is Marissa Tomei, bro.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei, fresh out of BK, Brooklyn, Marcy Projects.
Brooklyn's finest.
Yeah, so she was there too, and I was like, damn, this girl knows more about cars than George.
Definitely she knows more. Are you crazy? Of course, bro.
Yeah. Her car
No,
her car game is insane. And I feel like if that character was here in our city, you would have probably went to her to get your little freaking Nissan Altima, whatever it is you're working on these days.
get out of
And she
here,
would have
bro.
boosted that shit. Yo, what is it with you and cars, bro? We need to address this. This is also another low-key elephant in the room. Like, I don't understand with you and cars. Because the first time I met you, you popped up in one of the cars from Fast and the Furious, and like you never looked back. I was like, what's up with these cars? The Nismo, and I don't know what this new blue Crip car that you have now. What is this new car that you have? Is it new? Is it old?
The
Like, what's the deal?
Skyline, bro.
Oh, the Nissan
Skyline.
Skyline.
Yeah.
So did you have that already at some point, or did you get it this year?
This is brand new, bro. This is basically the older version of my white Nismo GTR, man.
Bruh, this guy's collection of all types of things. I feel like I should interview you on collections because you got all those damn figureheads, those bobbleheads in the man cave. You got Pokemon cards on deck. In fact, I remember you sold a bunch of binders just, because you wanted to get some more money. So you sold them for a really large chunk of money. Remember that?
I did, bro, but I still have a lot of them, and I started like to recollect them back around like March, April. So yeah, man, I'm pumped. I feel like I in a sense I reconnected, with my childhood. So
How does someone start recollecting Pokemon cards in 2020 in the era that we live in? How do you do that?
oh, there are Facebook groups. There's like forums where people trade. Like there's a lot of shit, bro. There's like so many ways,
So do you end up meeting these people kind of like when you try to.
So we don't really meet in person because of COVID, but we basically like trade cards or we buy from each other, all this stuff, and it's very much almost like a nostalgia, bro, because it takes you back to your childhood. And in fact, it actually makes me regret selling them like 2 or 3 years ago when I did in the first place. Because there's like a part of you that leaves and you're just trying to ignore it and say, oh, you're grown up now. Don't worry about it. But it's always a part of you. And Pokemon for myself was like a refuge from like a tough childhood. And I actually used to have a lot of fun. Me and my brother or my best friend would go to the Saint Laurent Mall here in Ottawa every Sunday or every other Sunday. They had a Pokemon tournament in the food court, and only the real OGs know about this.
I feel like you've
But
talked to me about this, but I maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So they would close off, like a section, and it would be great because there would be like promo cards these are like exclusive cards that you get for taking part. and they had tournaments all across Ottawa, and they would invite the best players to go to centralized places like Toronto and all this stuff. So it was just great fun, and it was a refuge away from a tough childhood, a childhood where I got bullied a lot. And I felt like when I sold them, I sold a part of that.
Right.
And I was always trying to I was always trying to replace it with other hobbies or other things, and I could never. But now that I essentially have back almost my entire collection, I feel whole again. Like it's weird. I don't know, but it's a good feeling, but it's weird.
You Hillcrest hillbilly. Y'all Hillcrest hillbillies pulling up at the food court. And you know what? I mean, like bless up to all of y'all for having this, because not everyone has that mindset where like that kind of nostalgia. Like my nostalgia is playing Bop It, or like if let's say Crazy Bones came out of nowhere and they start
or Pogs.
I would be hella down to play Pogs again, because I remember having the Space Jam Slammer. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Slammers, shout out to Space Jam. And I think they're gonna bring Space Jam 2, by the way.
Yes. So I wanted to tell you this. There's a podcast, George, which had like a LeBron James episode very recently, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, him and his boy RJ Coconut Head. Yes.
Oh my! But tell me that you heard the whole podcast, but did you hear it?
I didn't hear or watch because I saw videos. I just saw I saw. Yeah, go ahead.
This is an uncensored LeBron. This is the first time where you see him in his true, honest, open self, bro.
Yeah.
He's so candid, and he even talks about Kyrie and how he was hurt when Kyrie said on his podcast that he finally has like a clutch player with him, and he talked about other things that were just super interesting, and he talks a lot about Space Jam 2. He gives a lot of like hints, right? So it's not actually Space Jam 2. It's not a part 2 of the first one. It's called Space Jam New Legacy. So
yeah,
he's trying, just like he's been doing his whole career, he's trying to distance himself from MJ. And he basically is, he said that, and this is all he said, that the story is about he and his son, who in the film also plays basketball. They actually have a rift, and his son loses like trust in him because he's not being a good father to him. He's trying to push him in all like the wrong ways as a sports dad. And the movie is about him trying to regain that trust of his son. All the while, there is actually, you know, like a visit from Bugs Bunny and these guys, and they have a basketball game to play to beat some people. And everyone was like, oh, are you talking about the Monstars? He goes, well, they're monsters, but we don't call them the Monstars. So and that's pretty much all he said. And the guy did say that there are some very good NBA players in it. I think we all know, like Dame is in there, like Klay Thompson as well. So I'm actually excited, and they timed the film release for when things should be back to normal with COVID. It's coming out June, I forget, but June 2021. So hopefully enough people have got the vaccine by then. We all have gotten some extent of basically some vast herd immunity, and we're all back out there. So I'm excited about that. That's definitely a movie I want to watch in theaters. I want to support Braun. I want to support the film. I loved the first Space Jam. It was obviously like a top 5 movie for me as a kid. So I'm excited about part 2 for sure. Or the next installment.
The next legacy or the new legacy or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really good podcast, bro. It is a good episode. Part 1 and part 2.
So from my perspective, from what I've seen, because there were multiple clips that were online, right? Like the video version. And he talked about like the Marc Gasol, like he's holding my Defensive Player of the Year trophy at his crib. I laugh because LeBron is at a point in his life where he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
And that's what I like about this podcast.
And he's already like, yeah, sure, coming from a guy who's a hater, but from a non-biased perspective, yes, he cemented himself. I'll admit he's done a lot of things in his career on and off the court, especially off the court. And he is at a point in his life where he doesn't have to be so careful with what he says, because he knows like where he's at, what his value is to the world, to the league. And On top of that, like he's 18 years in now. He's about to enter 18 years, bro. 18th year of his illustrious NBA career.
So proud of him, man.
And but you know what though? I have to say this, man. NBA players are divas, and they need to stay away from all this crap, the social media stuff, because social media, I think, has caused way too much rifts and tips, like a lot of emotional bullshit going on, and diva tendencies coming from a lot of these players who like to express themselves online, like Paul George, for example. And Damian Lillard is actually really active on there as well. And he's actually a guy that I feel like is similar to LeBron in the sense that he never holds back with what he says. He just says it how it is.
No, actually, I don't agree with you. Braun was very he was the opposite. He was very politically correct. He always wanted to come off as like the good guy. Now, because he has the fourth chip, he truly doesn't have to prove anything to anyone anymore, and I'm so proud of him for that. But no, he's straight up, bro. He's straight up. Now he doesn't give a shit. But Braun was never like that. Braun was never like that. I can tell you right now.
Oh, I'm not saying that he was always the no F's given kind of guy. Like the guy was always trying to be like the, you know, like the image of the NBA, the poster boy of the NBA, right? Like the face of the NBA. And
yes.
And I still feel like he is till this day. Like no one's gonna be better than LeBron. Even if Giannis wins 2 MVPs back to back and he wins Defensive Player of the Year as well, he admitted himself that LeBron's the best player. If the MVP is saying that, then that tells you enough. Like that says enough on who LeBron really is, right?
Yep. Definitely.
Like I'm a guy who grew up being a LeBron hater because I just was never about the LeBron hype. I was not on the LeBron hype train. I seen people just like yourself always talking about him like as if he's a god and always bigging him up this and bigging him up that. I don't like that. I just didn't like it. And plus, I already had my own personal bias right here. You dig? Like this is it right here. Shout out to this guy right here who got me this biased gift right here. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm not a LeBron hater. I just don't like his politics. I don't like the way he politics in the NBA, right? Because the guy is acting like he's front office for the most part these last.
No, I think people put him there, bro. No, I think so. I think that you can't call yourself a true basketball fan if you don't appreciate his greatness, and I feel like that you're always trying to shit on him. Part B of that is that he's not trying to thrust himself into the head office role. The NBA has been doing that themselves since he was 17 years old. So if you couple that, right, with like feeding his ego from the NBA and all this stuff, with the fact that he is the best player of our generation, because the two of us were not like old technically enough to really enjoy MJ. Like MJ, I find was like our parents' generation, or if we had like a really much older sibling, then yeah, but not for us. Like it doesn't, no. He's the best player of our generation, right? And think of all the players from our generation. He's better than them. He has like better stats across the board. He just won his 4th ring. No, bro, be honest with yourself here, okay? I'm an AI lover, and I can't say that. And I'm sorry, but you can't say the same thing about Kobe, about these guys. So he was constantly, he was getting his ego stroked since he was 17, and he's been the best player. He has the best stats. He's going to have the most points when it's all said and done. He's probably going to be a top 5 assists, top 10 boards. He's going to be one of the best players ever, and he has technically like the right to actually say all of this. And I'm sorry, but as a Lakers fan, even though you're texting me and, oh, I hope your Heat win, I can't stand LeBron. When the guy took the Larry O.B. and he put it up like this, I'm sure you were proud of the fact that this guy like willed this team in the bubble, which was one of the hardest chips to win, bro. Straight up. Come on.
First of all,
give him some props, bro. Come on.
Can you let me speak about it so I could tell you, so that I could shit right back on you? I'm not gonna shit on you. I'm gonna just tell you like it is, like how I see it. I'm proud for the Lakers organization because I'm a Lakers fan. At the end of the day, I'm very proud of what the team looks like. You know, they're great. They're a great assembly of players. The new acquisitions are great too, and I just want consistency with this this franchise, because I want consistency with this organization because they are a franchise to me. Okay, they are one of the best franchises in the history of sports, right? You compare them to the Celtics, you compare them to like the Patriots. Lakers are really up there. Like they've tied. No, hold on. Let me speak, because you talk a lot. Let me talk. I'm gonna tell you right now.
They did not tie. They did not tie with the Celtics. Almost half of their titles were when they were in Minnesota, bro. OKC doesn't count the chips that the Supersonics won. So you can't count the chips that were won with the Minnesota Lakers.
You sure about that whole OKC thing, or you're gonna go do some fact checking for me?
I promise you, bro. They don't hang those banners up. LA is the only team in sports to hang up the banners of a previous town they were in. Do your own research. I'm telling
you. Look, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they at least for our, during our lifetime, they've been one of the best, right? We got the Lakers, we got the Bulls, we got the Spurs, we got Golden State, we got Miami Heat, and now there's like a Lakers resurgence, right? And
they're gonna be good for a long time, bro. They just got AD for 5 years, you know.
And if you got someone like AD, who's one of the top players in the league, who in fact got potentially robbed from a Defensive Player Award, what could really go wrong there? You know, as long as the guy stays healthy, then I don't see. And on top of that, look at the new talent. Yo, they've widened their bench. That bench is looking really, really, really strong right now.
The only player that I'm sad that they could not keep, and it's because he frankly wanted too much money, he cashed out in Atlanta, was Rondo. That's the only one that like might affect them. But I will say that Rondo, I mean, like the guy, I don't know if he's gonna like give you that same performance ever again. And they did get a very suitable backup in his place named Dennis Schroeder. So I mean, it's not gonna be that bad.
Schroeder is solid, man, and even more solid than him
so far.
What's that?
It is a great team, man. It is a great team.
Yeah, so it's already looking strong to be like a candidate for another, like a championship team right there. That's a strong championship caliber team. And my biggest acquisition, in my opinion, is Trez, bro. Woo, Montrez.
He's very limited, bro. But he's very limited.
Well, like the guy was delivering. He was performing these numbers last season off the bench. And he won what, 6th Man of the Year?
I understand. The problem is he does not show up in big games, and depending on the matchup, his defense is very suspect, and he's sometimes unplayable. That's why they didn't play him down at the stretch when they were getting smacked by the Nuggets. So, I mean, he's better than JaVale, than like D12. He's better than those guys for sure. Great pickup. Him with Marc Gasol is going to be very interesting. But the most important thing was that you locked up AD for 5 years. And I was happy he was candid and he was honest. He said, I signed 5 years because I have an injury history. I don't want to risk it. Good for him, bro. Because I was like, man, if this guy signs a 2+1 or a 3 year, it's gonna suck because LA gave up everything. So it's good that he got the 5 year, $200 million.
I'm sorry, you lost me at the injury thing. What does that have to do with anything? Like he's an injury-prone player? Is that what you said?
No, it's what he said. So
why is he saying that? What does that have to do with him signing 5 years?
Because there was a lot of chatter. He was only going to sign a 2 or 3 year deal and be like a free agent soon. So they offered him both. They would have obviously preferred him pick the 5 year, and he ended up picking the 5 year. And he said, me and my family and my agent talked, and we picked the 5 year because I have an injury history. Because he every year since he's been in the league, I think he's missed at least 16 games a year, at least. There's even a couple of years where he's missed over 20. And in fact, there was 1 year where he missed 30-something, remember? So he constantly has dings and all of these little things. And to be honest, when I think it was in game it was in game 5, bro, or game 6 that
What the game
that
winner?
no,
Oh,
he
the
had
little
like an
tweak there,
injury.
the little tweak
It was
slash
game
injury.
5
Yeah,
or 4.
one of the later games. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, after that, I'm like, man, this guy's gonna be out because he has a track record of being out, but he forced his way back in, and apparently, as per the podcast, if you listen to it with Braun, he played with a tear in his foot for the whole bubble, which is pretty
Wow.
impressive. Yeah. So
you know what I think that motivated him to keep playing is because the team that he's on. He knew that he's on a championship team, and he knew that he had Braun by his side, and Braun is a tank, so he wasn't going to be the weak link here, like, at all. So I'm glad that he forced his way out of that and he played through it, because we got people, legendary players like Iverson and Kobe, who have played through a lot of horrible shit, and they played through them. Like, they've played through them.
yeah, it's
You got
great. No, and that is what it takes to win, bro. If you really want to get that chip, bro, you got to do that, right? So I'm trying to find the biggest, what of 2020 were like the biggest stories, okay? Because there was a lot that happened, right? So basically, I was planning to talk about how like the coronavirus got so bad in all of the countries that were trying to gloat, like Norway and like Sweden and all these countries were saying, oh, we're not gonna do, like a lockdown, everything's gonna be fine. They now have the worst like death rate than any countries in like the whole world and shit. So I was actually just going over all of that shit. But anyways, go on.
So in regards to this and countries who function differently than North America does, like, I've seen countries, I think it's like some of the Caribbean countries, because they like the islands, the countries that are like based on islands and shit, they have nothing going on. I think like Cayman Islands, they are COVID for, I don't know if it's Cayman Islands or somewhere around that region of the world, where there's no cases at all because it's less populated and people are actually like safe. Like, I've actually heard about, I think I may have read about it, or it was through word of mouth, where there's certain countries, or maybe even one country only, that has no cases at all and it's safe. So that's why people are living their lives regularly without worrying about catching anything and spreading something. But I think also in the Middle East, people are living their lives normally too. Not Lebanon, because I know Lebanon is horrible right now.
Every country is not, man. No, are you crazy?
I think it was maybe in Dubai or one of those Saudi Arabia, because they have like those, like those are like the rich countries. They have these gigantic malls and people are just casually going there, and it seems like it's a really crowded place. But again, these were because I seen like videos of these little things like that. So but I would have to do a little bit more research on that, because this is all speculation slash not facts. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
This whole part I would take out because it's very wrong, actually. Like the Arab countries, like unfortunately, the Arab countries are some of the worst hit.
I know this because my dad is there and he told me what's going on. Like,
he's still there. Fuck, what is he doing there, man?
Oh, he's doing his podcast in Lebanon. No, he's got a life there too, bro. He's a man who's got two different lives: a Canadian life and a Lebanese life.
I know. Yes.
You know the story.
Of course, but bro, speaking of the blast, like, is he okay? Like, shit, what happened, man?
Oh no. Well, first of all, the blast happened before he even left. He's been gone only for about 2 months now. He'll be back sometime in the new year, like around Feb, which is a horrible time to come back to Canada when you think about it. Like, who the fuck?
It's like so chilly and depressing, bro, for sure.
It is. It's like, why would you go from a depressive state of whatever in Lebanon to coming back to depressive Canada? Like, what are you trying to do? Are you listening to Joe Budden music or something? What's wrong with you?
Crazy.
You know, mood music. Imagine my dad listening to mood music.
He would say, "What the fuck is this shit?"
But at the end of the day, though, he's doing good, and I do have family in Lebanon, so I immediately reached out to him and I asked him, please tell me that everyone is good over there, they're safe, because it was a horrible tragedy after everything they've already been going through with all the economic crisis and all that, and lives being lost. wars that they've been going through. You know the deal with Lebanon, man. Like it doesn't take rocket science to know that there's a lot of BS going on in that country. But to add insult to injury, like come on, man. Like it sucks. But in terms of like families, people related to me, everyone is okay. And right now, currently, they do have a lockdown procedure where they have like these tight curfews. You got to be home by a certain time, so they got to follow protocol, and that's that.
Interesting.
Yes.
I do have a friend of mine. He got donations from people, and he went to Lebanon, and he actually like $20,000 American worth, and he bought people like fridges and brand new doors and appliances and stuff. People that were affected very close to the blast radius. Yeah, it was like amazing.
That is really great, man. That is awesome. Wow.
He's fantastic, bro, for
shout
sure.
Shout out to him for doing that. Shout out to everyone who made generous and genuine donations for a great cause, because this is really bad. For the people who actually show love, even the celebrities who don't even really know what goes on in the Middle East, but when they see something like this that was trending, they took action and they went and they spoke about it and they've made donations and like that's what I appreciate at the end of the day. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I feel like one thing that I have an issue with, and this is actually something that I had a really big in-depth conversation with my cousin Andrew. You remember cousin Andrew?
Andy and Jimmy.
Yeah, shout out to them, right? But Andrew, he was devastated by this blast, like very devastated, because me and him, we were supposed to link together. We wanted to do we actually wanted to get together and do some recording together, me and him. And because he felt so devastated, it had to be he wasn't able to come, because that day that it happened was when me and him were supposed to see each other, and he postponed because the guy was too devastated. And when we did talk to each other, he started to ask himself like do people really care? Like again, like I'm not quoting him verbatim, but basically, like, just to get the gist of it, it was more of like, what are people's true genuine feelings towards like what's going on in the world? Like, are people really that caring or that aware of what's going on the other side of the planet? Because they're all the way over there and we're all the way here, and because what's going on there doesn't normally concern us and on our daily, like on our like daily basis lives, it's like he was just questioning the authenticness, like the authenticity of how people truly feel. Because when something happens, like a tragedy happens, people show love for one day and then the next day they forget about it.
Again. Yeah, I know.
So I guess that would have been the best way to describe it. That's pretty much what he was getting at. People show love for a very brief moment and then they go back to their regular scheduled program the next day. And him and I, we both came to a conclusion that we don't like that, because like if you don't truly care about the cause, then why do you, like, you might as well not talk about it, period. Right?
I mean,
that's just my point of view on that.
I mean, true. But you can't hate on people for actually responding like that, because it goes back to mental health. I'm telling you. So some people cope by trying to overcome something, or trying to address it head on and being active and doing what's best. Other people, they try to tuck it away and not think about it. So while you're thinking, oh, they don't care, they do, but they just cope with it a different way. You know what I mean? Like, I lost a childhood friend of mine the other day. He died at the age of 32. God rest your soul, Paul Fortin.
Sorry to
he
hear
died
that,
in the hospital, actually. He was there for 3 days, and I was very affected for the first 1 or 2 days, and then by day 3, I grieved so much for those 2 days, and I addressed it so intensely those first 2 days, so I was able to get over it. Again, I mean, I'm still not over it. I'm always thinking about him, and I'm going to his profile on Facebook every day, but I'm not as sad as I was because I've adjusted, right? So no, I don't think it's fair for you or Andrew to judge people like that. People deal with their own mental health issues in their own way. However, I would say that people were very helpful for back home, and I was very proud of the Lebanese people who are trying to stick up for themselves,
Right.
and I hope that they continue to do that. So, for sure.
So again, my condolences to your childhood friend. So
Thank you.
your friend Paul. Sorry, did you say it was a COVID complication? Is that what it was?
No, they don't know why he died, bro. They like don't know why he died. He got admitted because of pain in his stomach on Monday, and I guess he got an infection in his stomach. And what they think happened was the infection seeped into his blood, causing a disease called sepsis,
Hmm.
which is basically means you have an infection in your whole blood. You know what I mean? So,
That's really
um,
tough, man. Especially in a very short turnaround like that. That is insane, man. 3 days, man. Like, wow. Like that's brutal, man. Like,
yep,
condolences to his family, man, his loved ones and all that, man, because yo, like, we're losing people on a daily basis. I got like friends who have lost people, very important people in their lives, and it's so sad. And I'm very, like, it saddened me a lot, and I'm still very sad about it because I've actually, met these people. Like, I've met the mother. We're talking about a
yeah,
mother. You know how tough that is, a mother, losing
yep.
your mother at such a young age. Very tough, very, 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 very sad. And God, rest in peace to everyone we've lost around the world who had to unfortunately leave us because of this very, very unfortunate situation that we're in across the world, and it sucks. um One thing that like stuck with me, because it was obviously posted online, and it stuck with me, and it's still on my mind till this day. Cat's mom, you
It's not
know.
only his mom. The guy lost 7 family members due to COVID, bro. You know that? 7.
I didn't know about multiple people. Wow, that's even worse when you're losing 7 people from one virus. That is insane. So the only one that I knew about was his mom, which is, if it was me, like if I'm him, like that's probably the biggest loss, because that's his mom. Like, that's his flesh and blood. And anyone who loses a mom, I like when it's like an untimely thing, is so unfortunate. And my heart sinks when that happens, when I hear about that. And I don't want to keep this whole thing sad and gloomy, but just want to say my condolences to everyone who've lost their loved ones. And even want to say rest in peace to all of our beloved celebs and athletes. Chadwick Boseman, bro. That was a tough one, man. That was a tough one. uh
But if you saw those pictures before, man, they were shocking, bro. The poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, no. If you're talking about the way he looked because of his condition, because the guy got slimmer and he lost weight, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, man. It was just extremely horrifying, man.
Well, not really, man. I mean, people just assume like, oh, why does he look like that? Like, you can't judge, you can't make these um assumptions, right? Like, you don't even know what's going on. The guy hid this for all these years, and no one even knew until just now.
Yeah.
Oh, and then now you feel bad about it, but before, you guys were criticizing him because he looked really skinny. You don't know what he's going through.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like a little much kind of like a bandwagon guy, but now I'm like really tempted to go watch some of his critically acclaimed movies, like Jackie Robinson. And I think he did one like that. That's the singer movie. Again, I apologize for forgetting this one, but one of those movies that he did a biopic on, I definitely want to watch those,
Like the Jackie
because
Robinson movie, or
Jackie, and another one he did for, I think it was a singer. I think it was James Brown, or I don't know if it was James Brown or some other famous singer. Maybe you can find it, since you're Mr. Research Man tonight. Uh, I don't know what it is, but I'm just tempted to watch some of his work. um and not and I'm not gonna hold back. I will admit that when I watched Black Panther, it wasn't a movie that I was too like, my god, this was the greatest movie of all time. I wasn't even that impressed with that movie. I felt like it was very long and draining to me when I watched it in theater, and I only went because my friends dragged me along. But if I were to rewatch it again, maybe my perception on the movie will be different. Yeah.
I mean, I think all of his films were great, but you'll have more of almost like an appreciation for them for sure. So.
The last thing I watched of him was the barbershop the shop show that LeBron started, where he brings people as special guests at the barbershop. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yep.
And that one episode in particular had him on, and this was before COVID though, right? Like this was, I think, earlier this year. It was like right after or around the time the All-Star weekend was happening, and what's his name? LeBron wasn't even there. He had his boy Maverick was there.
Yes.
But Chadwick was there, and he looked totally fine, and it was a great episode. Everyone was chopping it up, just like how you and I are chopping it up. And yeah, man, it's just so sad. And when you see a picture of him and Kobe together, it's like, oh man. You know what I mean? Shout out to the boy right here, the GOAT.
I still can't believe he's dead. I still can't believe he's gone, bro.
I still can't either. Like it's not something that I'll be able to process probably ever. And I can only imagine how his wife feels about it, right? Like his wife, like that's his second half right there, and his children. And not only him, but like his beloved daughter, who also had a promising future in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, man. I think it's especially hard because the wife and the sisters lost not only a father but like a sister themselves, right? So
yeah,
it just makes it even worse, man. It's so sad, man. It's so sad for sure.
Rest in peace to my guy Kobe Bryant. And if there's like anything else that maybe we could touch on, because this is our literal, not our pilot, but this is our season opener, our season debut, our season 3 debut. George, you look funny as hell right now. You know that? I don't know if you're staring at me because I'm handsome like that, but you look lost as hell right now.
No, I'm not actually lost. There's just a post actually about my friend Paul. So they're doing the service on like this upcoming Saturday. So and it's just sad. Like it's just sad to actually look and see his picture there. He was our age, bro. Like imagine just being gone. It's fucking sad, bro. I don't know.
By the way, you look like you came fresh off of a 2-hour workout right now. Like how many pounds of steroids did you pump in those guns?
I have not even worked out at all today, bro. Oh my god.
Or at all, like this entire, since your kid was born, or this year period?
No. Like of course I've been working out, but I didn't work out today, bro. No.
Today was a busy day. Well,
yeah,
you'll get back into it maybe next year. I don't know. What about musically, George? Like have you been keeping up? You still have a Spotify account?
Of course.
Did you check out your 2020 Spotify Wrapped?
No, I have not yet. No.
You didn't even check that, bro. I thought you were like usually active with the socials, or at least Spotify. You would at least have a notification about it, and you would go check out what are your top artists, your top songs, like the things you stream the most.
They are probably the exact same every single year, bro.
So with that being said, name them for me. What are the usual 5 or 10?
Oh, it's the same old tracks, bro. Like like Biggie songs, old school techno songs, just things like I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't like new music. I can't get into it.
You said old school is like
I can't do it, bro.
What is love, baby? Don't hurt me.
No, it's more like Aqua. Dr. Jones, calling.
This is what you work out to?
Oh yeah, bro, for sure. Look at the list, bro. Look at the list. I'll show you the list.
Please pull it up. The one time I want you to pull something up off your phone, please.
Bro, and honestly, this is a good note for us to actually finish because I gotta go to bed. Okay, so hold up, check this out.
I'm dying. Wait, what is that? That's your like top?
Aqua, bro. That's like one of the top songs, bro. We got Aqua, Dr. Jones. We got
no Barbie Girl?
Oh, a classic one of ours, bro. A classic.
You could play it live right now. Oh! Of course, he's got the remix going. Ah.
No, it's because they don't have the original on Spotify.
I know, bro. I know. I discovered that recently. I went on his album, the Joe Budden debut album, and that shit's gone. Like they only got that stupid remix with Fab, but it doesn't matter, man. Like I'm not surprised that you're still stuck in a certain era because you're like the oldest young guy that I know. You're too old to function, bro. Like it's not even fair. Like you're stuck in the 90s and the 2000s. Like it's insane. Like my top artist, I don't even know if you know who this guy is. I hope you do if you're really a true hip hop head. The Alchemist. Of all people, Alchemist. Huh?
Come on. Of course I know what that is.
All right, who is that? Who it be? Tell me right now who that is.
Like, what are you trying to say right now? Like, what? Like songs, albums? Like, I don't know. What do you want me to do? But what do you want me to do?
Like what's he known for? What are his notable songs or that he's produced or something? Like anything, period, that you know of the guy, just so that I can test your actual hip hop knowledge right now. Ahorita pronto. Yalla.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I can say that he's a white dude. He's old. He's probably almost like 50 years old by now.
Yeah. Well,
I
you know
can't
what?
name you any songs, but I've heard his songs before.
Got you. So here's a fun fact. He's actually nominated for Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys. So him and Freddie Gibbs, they dropped.
I don't show any love to the Grammys. They didn't even get one nomination for The Weeknd, bro. Not one. So they can go fuck themselves.
How do you even know who The Weeknd is when you're stuck in the 90s and 2000s? You know The Weeknd? You know
Saturday
and
I have like 10 tracks on my all-time list of his.
I thought the only Weeknd you knew was Saturday and Sunday, cuz like I didn't know you even knew the artist.
Bro.
You sometimes really catch me off guard. Like you really surprise me with these curveballs that you throw at me. But listen, Alchemist, Freddie Gibbs, Royce the 5'9", Nas, who is my pick to win the Grammy Rap Album of the Year 2021. And some other guy named D Smoke. You should actually go check him out. You probably like his music because I feel like it's more in your lane. He sounds a lot like Kendrick Lamar. Do you not like Kendrick Lamar?
I like adore him, but I don't
focus.
I don't actively try to seek his music, but when his tracks come on, I will listen for sure.
I feel like the reason why you have the same shit every year is because you only listen to the same playlist that you created back in like 2012.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo. George, any last thoughts? Anything before your old ass goes to sleep? Because you know this is our season 3 premiere. Is that what we call it? A premiere?
Yeah, I guess so, bro. Yeah.
Season premiere, man. I'm really glad. I'm just glad to see you, period, because honestly, there are times where I felt like, yo, like, is George really about it, bro? Like, I haven't seen the man, and in fact, physically, I haven't seen you since freaking March, since right before the lockdown began. But in terms of this, I haven't seen you since June. Like, that just gives you an idea of like how long it's been and like how preoccupied we are with our lives. But we can't forget about each other. We're 2 fucking G's in a pod, cuz.
Definitely, bro. And man, George, I can't wait to play basketball, man.
Your boy Zohan, aka Paul Ibrahim, definitely made sure to bring that up right off the bat when he logged on to IG Live with me, and that's the first question he asked me. How did you wait? You saw the video, you liked it, but you don't even know what the guy said?
No, I saw like 2 seconds of it, bro, and then I turned it right off.
I wonder why. The first question he asked me is, "Yo, when are we gonna play ball again?" And he asked me if I was coming on the 24th to play ball. I was like, bro, like that's Christmas Eve. I got better shit to do, man. I mean, like, who's trying to play ball on Christmas Eve? I got things going on that day.
Oh, no. He's asking you that because Adam, our boy Adam from Ball,
who, by the way, checked us out on IG Live. Shout out to him too.
Yeah, Adam actually rented a basketball court for the 24th, but it's a co-ed one, so he's getting. I think like the wife is going, and I believe his sister and her friends are going as well. So, but I don't know, bro. I don't understand during a red zone lockdown, how are they allowing all these people in a gym? I'm kind of confused, to be honest, but whatever.
You know what? You talk to your boy. Let's just wrap this up, and then we'll talk further about that real quick. So, with that being said, this is our season 3 premiere. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to see this little knucklehead over here.
I love you too, fam.
Yeah, man, much love to you. You know, sometimes I want to strangle you, but you know, it is only done out of love, just like Homer does Bart. And yo, we'll be back really soon. We got some special guests lined up, and I want everyone who's watching this to stay tuned. And it's 2 G's in the pod, baby.